DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll.
Hello and welcome back to Senzo back. It is that time of the night where we have to tell you what happened in that court of Rata and what is going to happen. Maybe that's like predicting, if it's possible, with what is currently happening in that court. Well, Nisi and everyone else, they didn't take long with ABSALOM. They were done. Then it is the time of the man that can take as much as he needs, that can do wrong in the eyes of the court. You know that person, right? Where the judge gives in to everything that this man wants. So it's that time. Let's hope it's not going to take long, because really there is nothing, no need for him to take long. But knowing him is capable of doing that, right? So, I mean, let's hear how things are going there.
Hi guys, hi everyone. Welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Yes, we're talking about the Senzo Meyiwa trial. It just dawned on me today or yesterday that Advocate BALOYI was dragging cross-examination of accused number 1, Moses Biya, for 4 weeks. 4 weeks is the time that Ubab Zungu is saying, I was in Gauteng. I traveled from KZN to Gauteng. I've been here for 4 weeks. That's what he's been saying. And I cannot help and wonder if maybe the reason for the state to have dragged that cross-examination like that was maybe they knew who was coming.
Yeah, they probably knew who was coming.
Your mic is off.
Tactics, in my opinion,
Microphone is off.
they probably knew what was coming. Yeah, they probably was trying to do what they could do to hold off, so to give themselves and the team time for whatever that maybe they could have been planning, God knows what. But yes, it is like that.
It dawned on me today that, oh my God. Wow. 4 weeks. 4 weeks is a long time to cross-examine somebody. So I can only wonder how long it's going to take with Ubaba ABSALOM. But Ubaba ABSALOM is telling his truth. He's telling his side of the story. Even though he keeps getting stopped here and there, but he is pushing through with putting his version of events on record. There was something that happened with cross-examination with Advocate BALOYI there, which made me very awkward. Hopefully we can get to it, because today was a lot. Where Mahlabatini, Ekshumayeleni, and Nongoma and Advocate BALOYI was trying to make it seem like Mahlabatini and Ekshumayeleni fall under Nongoma. Did you see that?
Yes, I saw it.
The desperation of it all.
The man is not ashamed. He's got no shame.
Well, court resumed this morning, and ABSALOM Zungu returned to the stand for the start of the cross-examination by the defense as well as the state. Ramasipili was the first one to begin. He asked Ubaba Zungu that since he has been here, whether he had a recollection of accused 3, 4, and 5, whether he knew them or heard of them or saw them before. Zungu said no, he doesn't know them, and he heard of them only when he was asked that they are from his area and that area. Maybe it might be different for them, because he says he doesn't want to hide anything, but they might know him. The reason is because they are younger, and in other villages at some point they used to go and play soccer and do other activities. So he was saying that he's not denying him, but he doesn't know of them growing up they are not age mates and all of that, as well as their names. He said he doesn't know their names. That's accused 3, 4, and 5. So Ramasipili then asked him, you've also testified that your mother's surname is Ntanzi. Does it mean that you are related to Mafika Ntanzi? And Zungu said, I'm very much related to him because he's from where I was born, not another area. In other words, they are blood related. He said, what I mean is that my mother is from Ntanzi family. Okay, her surname is Ntanzi, and I'm a close relative to the Ntanzi family. Ramasipili asked him, can you briefly explain your relationship with Mr. Ntanzi Mafika and Ntanzi's father? Not Ntanzi Mafika, but Ntanzi's father. That's accused number 2's father. Well, Zungu said that he's born of his cousin. He said, my cousin is born of my uncle. I was born from the Ntanzi family. And when it's similar to being at my own family, the Zungu family, he referred to me as a father because he's my cousin's child. He confirmed that he is Constable Zungu's father as well. So Ramsipili asked him, Sizwe, Zungu and Mafika Ntanzi, how do they refer to each other? Are they cousins or brothers? What are they? And Zungu said, I was not waiting for this question, but it may be that maybe they will refer to each other as cousins or brothers. Zungu also confirmed that Constable Zungu was raised by his maternal side of the family, but he also used to play his role in raising him. When he got paid, he would financially contribute as he was growing up. He didn't totally abandon him. And each time he would want to buy him some stuff, referring to the mother, that, sometimes he would want to buy things that he needs. He said as a father, he would provide for those needs from the time that he was going to school and also growing up. He said they never had issues with regards to maintenance as well, or him having stopped sending the mother money or whenever they needed money, and he did not encounter a situation where he was unable to send the money or didn't send the money. He said there were never issues pertaining to that. So Ramasipili then asked, despite the familiar relationship with Mafika Ntanzi and his family, do you confirm that the evidence you're giving in this court is independent and not based on that personal relationship and familial relationship with the Ntanzi family? Zungu said, no. Let me explain this. I'm not here with regards to relations. I'm here because my name is called. And as it is said, the evidence was given by me. I'm here to clear my name. My name was mentioned by Brigadier GININDA. He said he arrested these accused persons because of the information that he got from me. Ramasipili then said, back to the relationship with Mr. Zungu, the village where he grew up from his mother's side. What village is that? And Zungu said it was Nkandla. And Ramasipili asked him, and how do you know where Mafika Ntanzi grew up? And Zungu said he grew up in Nongoma. And there is also a village that he grew up in that is closer to his home. He said that it's a walking distance, 10 minutes. And if you are driving, it will take about 3 minutes. Ramasipili then asked him, how did you feel when you heard for the first time that Constable Zungu is testifying in this case and he was implicating a relative of yours, Mr. Mafika, in the Senzo Meyiwa killing? How did you feel? BALOYI objected to this question. He said they really don't want to interfere with his learned friend's cross-examination, yet he was interfering. But how the witness, when that evidence was unfolding in this court, he said that they submit that with the greatest of respect, that it's not relevant. Every objection that Advocate BALOYI places is saying it's not relevant. And we were subjected to 4 weeks of him asking irrelevant questions. And the judge was quiet. Every time the defense would object, their objections would be ignored. Today he's saying what the arrests of these accused persons were based on, their main witness, that their evidence is irrelevant. He said the evidence was there it was presented as to how he felt should not engage the attention of this court. Well, Ramasipili said, with the greatest of respect, I'd like to continue with my questions uninterrupted, if we could. Mr. Zungu, Mr. Ntanzi and the constable are relatives, so he can prefer an opinion if he can. Well, Zungu said that he wouldn't say much because his son stopped talking to him concerning the details and he knew when they would be arrested. He said he knew that he knew when these 5 accused people would be arrested. He said that hurt him, that hurt his heart, because he saw that it would be the end of the relationship that he has with his maternal side of the family. And he's like, now I could see what breaks up families when my son is like this. So Ramasipili then said to him regarding the allegations that were made by Constable Zungu in this court. He said that on the 26th of October 2014 at Basutung Hostel, Vosloorus, he was called by Gwabeni to come for a visit. There was going to be a gathering of homeboys, meaning that homeboys from different villages in KZN that Gwabeni knows, and he requested Constable Zungu to come through, but also collect on the way Makosonke Zungu, which indeed he said he did do that, and they went to Vosloorus. Do you understand? And Ubab Zungu said he understood, and BALOYI interrupted again, and he said Bab Zungu, he objected and said, before the witness understands, Mr. Ramasipili said he prefers to not be interrupted. He said we cannot let him carry on if we feel, listen to that, if we feel that it is not the correct court procedure. His feelings are the only feelings that matter.
And they do matter, because the judge always gives in.
Yeah, his feelings matter. The feelings of the witness do not matter. His feelings. Them as the state, they feel that it is not correct court procedure. And this witness in their own evidence says that I carry no knowledge regarding the death of Mr. Meyiwa. Now a proposition is being put forward regarding the evidence that was led. Firstly, he says, as we say, that it is at odds with the witness and what the witness is saying, that he has no knowledge about the incident. But secondly, he's now being asked to give an opinion. We submit the evidence before court is for the court to decide. No witness can be asked to serve the function of the court. Please note that the defense were not allowed to object while BALOYI was cross-examining. Sbia, they were not allowed to object. Every time they would raise an objection, it would be ignored, or they would be told, to not disturb.
For the first time, I had the judge, after a while, I had the judge say, where is this going?
Yes. He only says that when the defense is at work.
Then he catches feelings when we call him names. Catches feelings when you call him names. When he sits down and watch this,
I don't think he watches.
Is he happy with the position that he has taken?
Had he watched, he would know how to react and he would see his faults and he would try to correct them. I don't think he rewatches himself. It would be too painful, because over and over again it's the same thing. He's refusing to correct himself,
to remain unbiased. It is hard for him to remain at the center. No, he wants to be on the side, in my opinion. Very hard for him to just keep being on the center like some of the judges, even though we know some of them, they still have a biased way of giving their verdict eventually. But this one is not only gonna do it, he's sitting there making sure that he's one way or another pledging to be part of the other team, in my opinion.
Well, it was also disturbing to see that here's a father who's heartbroken, right? He's gone through a lot. He feels betrayed by his son, and they are telling him that his feelings don't matter. Let that sink in. Now I see why people don't want to testify in courts. How can his feelings not matter? How can they not matter? Is he a robot? Is he an object? What are witnesses in a court of law? Are they objects? Is there something we're not being told? Ramasipili said that he'll skip the question. And then he said, with respect to the allegations that were made by Constable Zungu about all the 5 accused persons that are before this court, did you have any role or knowledge of those allegations made by Constable Zungu? BALOYI objected again. He said once again, he says he carries no knowledge about the incident. Why is he persistently asked whether he knew about the allegations that were made by Constable Zungu? With the greatest respect, Mr. Ramasipili, we do not wish to interrupt, but we submit that this line of questioning should be disallowed. Well, Ramasipili said, my lord, I'm specifically asking what role did this witness play, not what Constable Zungu said. Well, the judge said he knows nothing about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. He has no knowledge whatsoever. Ramasipili said, okay. He left and went to another question. He totally abandoned a full page. I don't know how many of you guys noticed. He had to let go of an entire full page cross-examination that he had prepared and try to look for other questions. What a way to throw him off, though. They threw him off. They really did. It was in 4K. We were all watching. Well, Ramasipili said, let's start with how your name came to be mentioned in this court. And also it's very weird because BALOYI was allowed to ask repetitive questions.
Yeah, it did. It
over
does.
and over and over.
Even with the
over.
Nongoma issue, he was given time to canvass it the way he wanted to twist it. For me,
unethical things are happening there, and it's
Rata is just, in my opinion, is a disgrace.
He has no shame. He has no shame at all.
Like, honestly, in my opinion, I don't see what was special for him to be fetched. I haven't seen anything like this.
The audacity that he has.
And that goes to a person that went on to handpick this judge who was retired to come here and portray things that we shouldn't be seeing on the public, in my opinion.
I'm even seeing some people are making comments on that Lerato double HP situation and case that he ruled on. Hey, people are now starting to scrutinize it, People are now
everything that he ruled on.
What was happening? Because people are gathering, people are paying lobola, and now it is marriage. And because of that decision, that lady was entitled to 50% of, in fact, the entire estate, because now he was gone. So she took the entire estate of somebody that she had broken up with and was no longer living with. So the logic behind that ruling, now people are revisiting that case, and I'm looking at it on social media. People are dissecting it. They're like, really, what this did is kind of wishy-washy. It's wishy-washy because now people are going back to the people that they left many years ago, and it is now a law that people can be entitled to estates. In fact, they're going to make adjustments. I think they're going to be activated next year to say that if you don't go and register your lobola marriage, then it's not even a marriage. That's the thing. It's an engagement, sort of. It's not a marriage. But then they're saying that they're going to say that if you don't register that entire process within 2 years, then your marriage will become null and void. Because this is becoming a trend now where maybe you lobola the woman 15 years ago, and it happens that you pass away and you've moved on and married another woman, that woman is claiming your estate now that you left 15 years ago.
Yes.
So it's creating chaos.
Yes. In fact, the time is still long. 2 years. It's very long. Because at the first place, it was not even supposed to be in that manner.
It's a sort of like
it
an
undermined
engagement.
our customary procedures that we see. As we pronounce them, as to who decided for us that it would be okay for one person to be paid lobola for, and then from there automatically they are claimed to be a married couple.
So even if you've separated and you no longer live with this person, which is what happened with that Lerato woman, she was not living with WHP anymore. Like they've broken up, but she ended up taking his entire estate.
So these are things that needs to be looked at. By these judges that claim that they are applying law. It was out of line. For starters, there was no consultation. I don't think there was consultation with people who
traditional people to say, is
because
this a
that was not the
what?
position that these people would take.
And culturally, customarily, according to culture, if people live far apart from each other for a very long period of time, what do we call that? And how do you say people that have been engaged are married? Lobola is like an engagement. It's not a marriage.
It ignores people who proposes, for example, at the restaurants and this. It ignores them, which is an English thing to be done.
Yes, an engagement,
and it doesn't count it as marriage.
No, it doesn't.
But it goes on to encrypt to our culture, and now we are detected as to what we should do.
Not as long as you appeared and you delivered the cow, then you are married. The South African law is saying is marrying you. Well, Ramasipili then said, let's start with how your name came to be mentioned in this court. Brigadier GININDA testified that he met with Constable Zungu in early 2019. At the end of the meeting, whatever they discussed with Constable Zungu, it was suggested that Constable Zungu must bring you over to Brigadier GININDA so that he can interview and obtain a statement. Zungu said, I hear the question, but I said that I was to this point at the time that my name was mentioned in this court. I only spoke a little bit, half, and then it was closed. He was referencing Friday, what was happening with that whole situation where he, was told that he'll be given a chance to speak, and then court was done. It was adjourned. It was now time to disperse. So Ramasipili asked to complete his question so that he paints the full picture, before he can give a response. Ramasipili here, I felt like, why did he set up this question in such a long manner? He should have just broken it down piece by piece, right? I don't know. I just felt like this question was too long, and it was going to be difficult for Ubab Zungu to respond to it in a way that perhaps he would have wanted, because giving him a whole paragraph of what was said in a statement and then saying, asking for a comment or whatever, it was going to be difficult to track every single thing that was said. He would probably respond to the last question or the last part that he heard. But then Ramasipili decided to structure it this way. He said Brigadier GININDA further testified that there was a problem in getting a hold of Constable Zungu between the first period that they met in the early season of 2019 until he followed up and he was able to get a hold of Constable Zungu on the 12th. They met on the 13th of November 2018 when Brigadier GININDA and Constable Zungu met on the 13th of November 2019 at Captain Park in the company of General Tony Peruma. Constable Zungu then informed Brigadier GININDA that Mr. ABSALOM Zungu, is available and ready to meet with Brigadier GININDA. Brigadier GININDA testified that indeed on the 17th of November 2019, Constable Zungu brought you to Pretoria Police Headquarters where Brigadier GININDA then had an interview with you. And at the end of that interview, a statement was procured from you. That is the gist of how your name was brought up in this court, and that's your opportunity to respond. Well, Zungu said how my name was brought up in this matter was because GININDA said that he heard this from me. When GININDA says I was brought by Constable Zungu into this matter, however, I explained how I got into the police station that he says he took me to. I explained that I did not know that he took the police station or the place that he says they took me to. He says I was brought by Sizwe Zungu. How did he know or get the information that I have knowledge of this matter? So Zungu then said he was not brought by Constable Zungu.
You might think that this man is crazy. He's asking crucial questions. I mean, he's asking crucial questions.
He is. Important questions that even the state doesn't have answers to, or they just can't answer them because answering them compromises.
Because they already knew what they wanted him to say. That's basically the answer, because they already had a position.
Yes.
That they set it up for him.
It didn't align with the position that they've chosen, in my opinion. Well, Zungu said that he was not brought by Constable Zungu to GININDA. He was all along with GININDA from wherever they came from. Then GININDA was present in that car when he was fetched. So he can't quite say that he was brought to GININDA, because GININDA came with the rest of the people that were in that car with his son, and they came to fetch him at Emelo, right? So Ramasipili then said Brigadier GININDA said that on the 17th of November 2019 you obtained a written statement that was signed and sworn by yourself. And the judge said that, Mr. Ramasipili, where are we going? This witness says he never signed a statement before GININDA. That's his evidence. He knows nothing about the imaginations, the plotting of who was plotting in the death of Mr. Senzo Meyiwa. Ramasipili said, my lord, I'm giving him background on that. The judge said, no, Mr. Nisi has dealt with that. Now, how is it going to help us? Even that signature you want to say GININDA signed as a commissioner of oaths, he says he was not there. It's not his signature. Yes. Why judge kwatile kanje? He is so angry. I just laugh. I'm like, oh my God, he looks so tense. Ooh, and this is a man who allowed Advocate BALOYI to repeat questions, to cross-examine somebody for 4 weeks. Well, Ramasipili asked that the court bear with him. And, it took him some time as he was flipping through his notes there and extracting other pages. I was like, oh, my God. Then he asked Ubab Zungu that did Mbekiseni stay with you around 2018-2019 period. Well, Zungu said yes, he stayed with him, but they were staying in different places. As a person who was looking for work, he was staying with him. And then Ramasipili said, is it still your evidence in court that you've never had any information from Mbekiseni saying Mafika Ntanzi and Moses Bia are involved in the killing of Senzo Meyiwa? Well, Zungu said no, they never got to that himself and Mbekiseni. He said, what I'm going to explain about Mbekiseni is that I have already explained that Mbekiseni was staying there because he's unemployed. What made him enter this matter is because Constable Zungu arrived at my place late at night unannounced while I was at work. He said, I went to work at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and asked him to fetch Sizwe for me, and told him where I hid the key and told him to make food for him. And he came back with him and placed him in my house. And this name became implicated from that point. He's saying that Sizwe Zungu noticed Mbekiseni as he was residing with his father there at Emelo. And then that's how he became implicated in this whole thing. He said, "Oh, Mbekiseni is the brother of Ntanzi.
So we
what's
can
gonna
make
happen?"
it easier.
Yes. So Ramasipili now went to the photo, and Constable Zungu showed him of Sibia, that phone that did the photo that he said he had in his phone, and he showed it to him. He asked if his son gave him an impression that he did not know the person who was depicted on that picture. Zungu said that when he showed him the picture, he did not know who he was. And even growing up, he did not know who he was. But from work, perhaps they met here in Johannesburg and eventually saw each other for him to get that photo, which coincides with Sibia's testimony of saying that actually in 2018, I saw Constable Zungu, but I didn't know who he was. I was never introduced to him or anything like that. I just saw him.
I got the minions said they were lying.
Oh, yes.
They said, these boys are lying. They're lying. How can they be from an area they don't know each other? Now they get to know that this, I almost said the word, was raised by ugogo ngale nkandla or ubanban. We don't know who was raising this behavior also.
He said, that is why I'm saying he was not showing me that picture, because he did not know him. Ramasipili then asked him, did Constable Zungu say, I know this person for the following reasons, and I met him on the 26th of October 2014 at Basutung Hostel on the date of the killing of Senzo Meyiwa? Did he say that?
You know what I hate about when you ask a question like this and you get affirmation, do come back, then give a background.
Yes.
To say that, okay, it is very interesting to hear that what you've just said, Babuzung, because
Mr. Sibia,
in this court, we have been told by your son that they know each other from back home. He saw that they know each other from back home.
Well, Zungu
Highlight
said,
the lies of a man. Highlight them. Don't just ask a question and leave it like that, considering how umama lapha emsamo looks like. I mean, ugogo, kwatile ugogo. Yabo. So make sure that the record understands you properly.
Ungangile di chica. Stinky face the whole 5 hours. He said he did not say that. He just showed him the photo on the phone and asked me if I knew the person in the photo, and I said I knew them. He did not explain. I just assumed that the young men met at the hostel. So it means that maybe he took a photograph of him on that occasion, you know. Ramasipili then said, when he asked you to testify for them, did he tell you the specific case for which he wanted you to testify for them? Zungu said, he said to me that there were people who were supposed to be arrested. They will arrest them together with Brigadier GININDA, and they were requesting me to be a witness. He didn't tell me what I was going to testify on. He just asked me to testify and change my surname. And then Ramasipili asked, who's them? He said he was referring to himself and Brigadier GININDA. And Ramasipili said, did he specifically mention the name of Brigadier GININDA in the context of you testifying for them? Zungu said, yes, he did mention it in that form. So Ramasipili then asked him, regarding you using the surname of Khumalo, please explain to us how that came about, what that entailed, if there were benefits at all. What were the benefits of using this Khumalo surname? Zungu said he explained it in that form, that he was making a request for them to come and testify for them because they were going to make an arrest. He said they were working with GININDA and he will give him a promotion. He said, I tried to advise him about this promotion as to why he didn't want to try and get a promotion where he was working. Well, Ramasipili then asked, did Constable Zungu tell you why the surname of Khumalo was important in this context of testifying for them? And Zungu said he did not explain that to me. He hid it from me and where it came from. Then I told him that I will not do things like this. Zungu said he didn't know the details of the investigation, which matter they were investigating. Even with this matter where accused number 2 was arrested, nothing was ever explained to him. He didn't know anything. So Zungu said, When he asked him, he told him that he was working on Senzo Meyiwa's case. He asked him that he was looking for people that killed Meyiwa. That is what he said, without revealing what the matter was all about. Ramasipili then said, besides the promotion, did Constable Zungu mention any other benefits or inducements he was going to get? Zungu said no, he did not say them directly. When we were having conversations, you'd tell that he wanted to say something, but then he did not. Zungu said that when he said that he was not going to stand for this thing between his son and GININDA, what he meant was that he could see that they were approaching him with a very dangerous and wrong thing. It was not good because they could not state it directly to him, because he had said to them, or they had said to him, that they wanted people that killed Senzo Meyiwa. Bab Zungu said that he was at work when Zungu called him and asked him to use that particular surname of Khumalo, and then he just responded with okay, which means, in my opinion, that because he was at work, remember he's a mine worker underground, I don't think his mind was in a space to have such a conversation, in my opinion. While you're busy working and then someone is busy telling you, whatever, and it's loud, machineries and stuff, you're underground, like, or maybe he wanted to end the conversation. He just said, okay, just so he could hang up the phone and leave him alone. I don't know. That's my opinion. But he said that his reason for saying this is because his son had been bothering him with regards to this aspect for a while, wanting him to agree. So he was very much persistent with wanting his father to testify with a false surname. Then Ramasipili then said, and your testimony on that is that you said, okay, you did not mean that you are agreeing with this, but you wanted to hear what Constable Zungu's intentions are and whether Brigadier GININDA was also part of this scheme of you using the surname of Khumalo, impersonating Khumalo. Zungu said, let me explain it like this. This issue of the surname, after making this request to me, I told him that I would not. And then he told me that it was his plan with GININDA, or they had planned this together with Brigadier GININDA. He said he was busy at work. Then he said to himself that, you know what, I want to see my boy and what he's intending to do when he says I must change my surname, because at all times when he was talking to me, he would say he was with GININDA, himself and GININDA, him and GININDA all the time. So he wanted to see whether indeed they talked with GININDA about this issue of him changing his surname. And then GININDA called and addressed him as Mzilikazi Mashobani. He said, I told him he had dialed the wrong number. I'm not Khumalo. Ramasipili tried to stop him by saying that they had already dealt with this. Akira judge was yabo. Judge was telling him, where are we going? Mr. Mnisi already covered this. Manje Ramasipili did what he does, which is try to not upset the judge, tread carefully and all of that. Hey, Baba Ramasipili. Ichaile.
Let's press the like button, guys. Please press the like button. Push the like button. Thank you.
Ichaile, sekulate manje, Ramasipili. Sekulate. There's no need to be, decorum, whatnot. Ow! They sabotaged your cross-examination.
The whole of it.
So he said that he wanted to know, as he was talking about GININDA at all material times, he said, I was intentional saying it because I wanted to know, who is this GININDA? It is then that I called, GININDA called me and referred to me as Mzilikazi Mashobani. It is at this point I said, I'm Zungu, not Khumalo. He then asked me if I know Sizwe, who was a police officer. I said that that's my child. He then said he wanted to see me. He never got back to me to give me feedback about seeing Sizwe Zungu and the reasons that he wanted to see me. Ramasipili asked, did it give you the impression that Brigadier GININDA is also a part of the scheme that wanted you to impersonate Khumalo? BALOYI objected and said it's a leading question. Well, after the short adjournment, the guys we all did not hear what Ramasipili was saying. SABC had muted the sound. I really wanted to hear how he closed that cross-examination of his, but hi, Nxumalo started with his cross-examination, and he said that accused number 4 instructed him to tell Zungu that he doesn't know him at all. He started by giving the full name of accused number 4 and then said, my accused number 4 instructs me to tell you that he doesn't know you at all. And then he said, you testified that the first time you met Constable Zungu, it was around 2017, 2018. Zungu said, yes. Can you recall after you met during that period, on how many occasions did you meet him thereafter? Asked Nxumalo. Then Zungu said it was many occasions because he would not tell me that he's coming. He would just abruptly arrive. I would just hear from him knocking as I was sleeping, and I'd wake up and open for him. So Nxumalo then said, on the occasion that you'd meet with him in Emelo, was there an occasion where the name of Mr. Mthokoziseni Mapisa, Zipho Zonke Mapisa, was mentioned? And Zungu said no, it's for the first time. Nxumalo also asked if his client's name was mentioned when Ubaba Zungu was taken to that area that he said he didn't know, where he was, abducted. Zungu said it was never mentioned. And Nxumalo went to the statement and said it is alleged that Babu Zungu, or that statement that is alleged that Babu Zungu made, the one that Brigadier GININDA is said to have written, things like that. Well, Nxumalo said, is it correct that 4 digits of your ID number, 5595, do you confirm them? Well, there was a bit of a struggle, but then he also gave him his ID copy, and he eventually read the entire ID number to him. Zungu confirmed that that ID number from his ID is his. And it's turning out that the ID number on the statement and the ID number on his ID are different.
Oh. That's a good pick.
Malo. When he picked this one out, I was like, yo. He said, is it correct that Mr. Zungu, that your ID number is 580-214-559-082? It is not the same as the one on the statement, which is 580-214-558-082. So they missed one number, or there's one number that they got wrong. So towards the end there are 5-digit numbers, 5590, and on the one that's fabricated on the statement, it's 5580. Aye, shame.
Azenzela nje uGININDA.
Yay! So they also have fabricated ABSALOM's ID number.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Hi. Oh my God. Well, Nxumalo said that I will leave that aspect for argument in relation to the contextual approach that was adopted by his colleague advocate Nisi, while Zungu confirmed the contact number on the statement as his number that he used to use before. That wrapped up Nxumalo's cross-examination. Now Mshololo was next. She started off by asking, Mr. Zungu, at the time when you were firstly approached by your son Constable Zungu regarding this case, did you know accused number 5, Mr. Fisogu Tlentuli? Zungu said, no, I did not know him. Mshololo then asked, did you have any knowledge about the people who killed Senzo Meyiwa? Zungu said, no, I did not. Mshololo then asked, did you give any information to Brigadier GININDA about people who killed Senzo Meyiwa? Zungu said, I never did that. Then Mshololo asked, when you were taken from Emelo into the Baki, did you agree to be taken, or were you taken against your will? Well, Zungu said, no, I was not taken against my will because they explained nothing to me officially. They gave a brief explanation so that I would respect them. They were working with this one who I was saying was my son. Then Mshololo asked, was it explained to you where you were taken or where you were going to? And Zungu said, no, it was not explained. He just said Gininda wanted me. Mshololo then asked, was it also explained to you as to what was going to happen where you were taken? And Zungu said, no, they never explained. Mshololo asked, were you asked if you agreed to go with them? And Zungu said, no, they never asked me. Mshololo asked, was their statement that alleged to have been made by Brigadier Gininda was made on the 17th of November 2019? Do you recall the date when you were taken with a car wherein you found a person who was introduced as Brigadier Gininda inside? And Zungu said, yes, he was shown, but he does not remember the exact date where they did that, and he cannot say it, but he thinks if he were to estimate or speculate, it was around 2018. So Mshololo then asks, is there anything that you want to add or say from the evidence that you have testified about in this court? Zungu said, yes, there is. What made him stand up and find lawyers who could assist him is that the biggest thing is that a case was opened in his name when he didn't know anything. Well, the judge said, sorry, Mr. Zungu Senior, just leaving Lendaba Ewishoyo. When you say that they opened this case because of you, it can't be correct. This case was opened because Senzo Meyiwa was murdered. That's fact, not speculation. Yo. Ozungu said, I'm referring to this document. Okay. Was my name not mentioned in this document? Apparently was holding the statement that Brigadier Gininda wrote. He said, was my name not mentioned? Yo. Mshololo then said, in other words, you are saying that the case was opened because there were statements that were submitted and the statement was allegedly taken from you. Is that what you're trying to say? Wazungu said, yes, I heard my name being mentioned here, yet I didn't know anything. I was not informed about this case. Yet this case is serious. It's about someone who passed away in the Meyiwa family, yet my name is being mentioned. Gininda said things that shocked me. So Mshololo then said, so you are now saying so because your name was mentioned by Brigadier Gininda in this court? Zungu said, yes, he mentioned my name with evidence, holding the very same statement in his hands. And he said, my name was mentioned with evidence in this court. So Mshololo asked him, how did you feel when you heard that Gininda was mentioning your name here in court? Zungu said, that is what made me get up. Gininda was talking about my name, and he's not speaking well. He's talking about bloodshed. He was talking from his own words. He said it hurts talking about my name in court so that the accused may fight with me. Not only fight with me, but many people will die.
Exactly what I said.
He said, do you see how separate people are from the villages, village to village, apart from the one at Mahlabatini? He said his name is being mentioned in the community as someone who got other people's children arrested. Can you imagine? He said, in other words, Gininda is using my name to instigate violence. Let's say, indeed, Muzi and Tanzi's families were as violent as how the state has portrayed them to be, right? What could have happened in that community?
A lot of bloodshed. We wouldn't be able to even answer what is currently happening. So perhaps we are happy that there was that family tie. So it was difficult to have such, because it's explaining the family of Ntazi, for example. It has a lot of brothers.
Yes.
And then the other thing that also assisted him a lot is that he stayed with Mbekiseni.
Yes. And also what he's doing now by coming forward, putting his life at risk, coming forward and
I'm
telling
sure the families
truth.
can also see that impela iphekwa nempondo la. Ayikho lento lo muntu uyasukelwa. Let's press the like button, guys. Thank you, Caesar, for reminding us. Let's press the like button.
Well, Mshololo asked, was it true what was said by GININDA in this court? BALOYI objected and said that question cannot be allowed. It's precisely the issues that this court has been seized with.
This court has been discussing things that, according to its effects, already it has decisions somewhere, somehow that it has taken. Like that thing of saying that it's a fact that this case was opened because of it's a the decisions are there, man. So let other kids have fun of that also.
Let them enjoy, okay,
The same
privileges that you get.
You enjoy. Let other kids enjoy.
Yes. So Mshololo asked to rephrase the question, and he said, from what you said was said by GININDA in that court, was it true according to your own understanding, or can you comment on what was said by GININDA in this court? BALOYI objected again, saying that the view of this witness is irrelevant.
Since when?
Mshololo then argued that it is relevant. The judge asked, how? How is it relevant? Mshololo then said it is for this witness to confirm whether what he said is true according to his knowledge or not. Well, the judge said, how will it advance the knowledge of the court in order to sit and adjudicate in this matter? Sure. So he's saying that the backbone, the anchor of this case, Brigadier GININDA said, had it not been for ABSALOM statement, he arrested those people, 5 accused, because of ABSALOM statement. So now you are saying that that will not help the court. The evidence from the person who is being said by the lead investigator that the reason they arrested these people and those people are standing before you in that court, they will not, that the evidence coming from the person who they're saying they activated this court, this case, they are the reason why those people who are standing 5 accused, they are there. You're saying that, okay, this witness will not help in advancing the knowledge of the court. That already speaks volumes. It says you are not interested in anything that will contradict what you already have made up in your mind. Well, then Mshololo said it will assist the court. And then the judge said, in what way? Mshololo said it will assist the court to weigh the truthfulness of the evidence of Brigadier GININDA in as far as reference is made. The judge said, I'm here to adjudicate a murder case, not a hearsay case. A murder case. But the murder case is built on hearsay evidence.
All of it. All of freaking it.
Mshololo caved in and said that she agreed. Bakhathela abantu. Hayi abantu bakhathele Nkosi yami. Well, the judge said, what I'm listening to here is just hearsay. Utheni watheni.
Can you imagine a judge saying that when these statements were introduced, people were told to lie on the bed they made?
Yes. Yes.
He never said anything. He was okay with that.
And the defense was saying it's hearsay evidence. They were arguing, it's hearsay evidence. This statement, no. And then because at that time it
was
allowed the
suiting
state
the narrative of the state,
he
kept quiet.
To push and stretch this trial a little bit longer. They said, yeah, they made their bed, let them lie in it. Today,
Madala, just go back home and chow whatever you were chowing and enjoy it.
50-something years.
50-something
years of a legal career of a legal
Don't
reputation
ever come to our
down
courts.
the drain.
You know,
Just
don't
like
ever
that.
come to our courts. And in my opinion, I think your cases should be reviewed.
Most of them.
Or all of them.
And then nale criminal record wayinikeza ulokhuzana. A student might must be expunged. What the heck is that?
That's my opinion. You can sue me for it, but it's my opinion.
Guys, I'm stressed. I'm like, Kanti, what are we being exposed to with this case? If there were no cameras in there, can you imagine what would be happening? It would be worse than this.
It will be a hostile case for defense. Even worse than this.
It would be worse. The judge said, what I'm listening to here is just hearsay. Utheni wathini wangibiza umashobani kamzilikazi. What? How is that going to help this court? He really doesn't care. He doesn't care whether the lead investigator did anything wrong with how they conducted this case. You know, he doesn't care. He doesn't care, guys. He doesn't care. So Mshololo asked the witness to continue.
Uzoyiphalaza phela, nalokuzana. Nandomizi uzoyiphalaza. Uzoyiphalaza. Mawukuthi kunjalo uyoyiphalaza. Simple as that.
Well, Ubab Zungu said, I have taken an oath to come and testify that for us to reach the end and for progress to be made, the truth needs to be told. This is what I'm pleading to the state. GININDA said I was brought by Constable Caesar Zungu to make a statement. GININDA made the statement, referring to the statement that GININDA alleges that he took from him, right? And then he said, and then arrested the accused. He arrested them using my name. GININDA never gave me a letter letting me know that I need to come to court and testify. GININDA testified that for him to make arrests, he arrested them because of the information he got from Zungu. They then made their first appearance and were given a trial date. When it was time to call me, he switched and called Constable Zungu instead. Constable Zungu was not in agreement with what I said, but he pointed at the accused and said they killed Senzo. Constable Zungu stated a lot about these kids. You know, he said he was close to the crime scene and placed them at the crime scene. BALOYI objected and said Zungu said, as he was objecting, Ubab Zungu said, "Ungangivimbi, don't stop me." Right? BALOYI said he doesn't understand if counsel is, cross-examining the witness or leading the witness. Zungu said that there was nothing wrong with how Mshololo was asking him questions. She asked if there's anything I would like to state. It's not new what I'm being asked by the lawyer. We adjourned on Friday. I asked the court why I was not being called to come and testify. Mshololo was not there on that day. He said, I'm pleading with the court to explain because I'm being implicated in this case. I'm saddened as I'm testifying because Sizwe Zungu and GININDA said they know nothing about this case. They came to me to search for information, but on the day of the trial, he testified that he was close to the crime scene in 2014. He explained all that he saw, and then he was asked by the lawyers why he was quiet when such a big thing as that was happening, and he was a police officer. He said he went to report at the police station. I dispute the fact that Brigadier GININDA said Constable Zungu brought me to him to make a statement. And which also reminds me, I hope Advocate Nisi addresses this. They need to ask Ubab Zungu, when did he pay for that license?
When was it that he was told that Zungu is going to be a police?
Did they attend the graduation? What year was this? That information is important because the other time when we looked back at Constable Zungu's evidence, I was looking for his CV. You know how with every police witness, they would have to give a brief description of their career, curriculum vitae at the beginning. That was not done with Constable Zungu. So we don't know what year he became a police officer.
Yeah.
We don't know what year he started working in Gauteng in particular. We don't know where he went to get his training as a police officer and how long it took. Because from the sound of it, in his testimony, I feel like he's not above the age of 40. And also, the squad that he was hanging around, Gwabeni, and there was mention of the one who passed away, and they were saying that the river, the gun, whatnot, they sound like they are more of Ntanzi's age.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility that Zungu is around that age. And if he's around that age, it's very important to know, when did he become a police officer? When did he get admitted into SAPS and start working officially? It's important. So I hope Advocate Mnisia finds a way of addressing it in the re-examination. Because Nyabona is being avoided by the state. That information is important. Ubab Zungu has to tell the court, when did he pay for that license. Mshololo then deterred him from testifying what was said about Constable Zungu and told him to keep it to what happened to him only. Baloyi said that the question should be disallowed, while Zungu said that it was heartbreaking and he was demanding that police, he was demeaning. He said it was heartbreaking and demeaning that police were playing with him and using criminal acts in this case. While Mshololo closed her cross-examination, it was now time for Advocate Baloyi. Baloyi said ABSALOM Zungu's 2025 statement was not formally handed up, and he also asked if they can provide the ID of Ubabu ABSALOM Zungu as an exhibit to be handed up. Okay? He first asked ABSALOM Zungu, you were asked as to how you feel when you heard Brigadier GININDA mentioned your name in his testimony, and you said you were hurt. Brigadier GININDA testified for the first time in this court around the 23rd of November 2023 and referred to your name during his testimony. However, the statement you made at Newcastle Police Station is only dated the 8th of July 2025. So in other words, you wanted from November of 2023, or you waited from November of 2023 until the 8th of July 2025 to give a version. Zungu said that if you were so aggrieved, okay, this is Baloyi asking him this question. If you were so aggrieved, why did you wait so long? Well, Ubab Zungu asked, what was I supposed to do? And it's a valid question. What was he supposed to do, guys? What was he supposed to do? Bekutiwa ainzinjani. Baloyi then said, Baba Zungu, we ask you questions. Why is he calling him Baba Zungu? I found that absolutely funny. I'm like, why? It's like he's trying to make him soft or something like. He said, you must please answer the questions. Well, Nisi said that is an unfair question unless if the state is going to come and say that there's a specific time period in which a person must lay a complaint. In law, I don't know of such a provision. So he can't say that he waited for such a long period of time that is based on what? In law, I don't know of any such provision. So he can't say, why did you wait for such a long period of time that is based on what? Is this statutory regulation or his own assessment? Because there's nothing in law that says that when a person feels aggrieved within a specific period, he must make his aggrievements felt within a specific time period. That is an unfair question, particularly when it comes from the state itself, when they are the ones who are supposed to be prosecuting matters. They should know better. Well, they waited for 2023 as the trial was ongoing to have Zungu, Constable Caesar Zungu, write the statement. Have we all forgotten? They did that. And Brigadier GININDA has introduced another statement that is referencing Babu ABSALOM Zungu's testimony after they said they will no longer be using Babu ABSALOM Zungu's statement. They will not be calling him as a witness. But his statement is all over Brigadier GININDA's statement. That happened as the trial was ongoing. But then they're asking him, why did you wait so long before you went to the police station to denounce what was happening in this court? The judge did not even wait for the interpreter to interpret for Babu Zungu. He asked BALOYI for a response, and BALOYI said it's a fair question, and the judge allowed him and said continue. Well, Zungu said, I did state...
No authorities was read, nothing.
No. Zungu said, I did state that what was I supposed to do? Because even now I have been here for 4 weeks, but the court did not assist me with anything. I would sleep wherever, and I didn't even know where the High Court of Pretoria was. So I don't know what to say. Okay? So BALOYI asked if this statement was for the first one he made, and Zungu said for him to go to the police. He went there because he called and was given the number by the people on TikTok. He said, I called in and I did that so that the court could be aware that I am available. They should call me. I'm not going, or I wasn't hiding, but then I'm not getting called by the court. So he waited for that entire time. He was waiting for the state to call him, but they never did. As soon as the state closed their case, he went to the police station and he proffered a statement. BALOYI then said, when was this interview on TikTok? And Zungu said, I first spoke to them over the phone, then set a day and went to meet up with them. And he said he was concerned about hearing about his name at the High Court, and yet he did not know anything. People were arrested in my name, he says, yet I was not being called. How come the court did not call me? Is it the South African law that I must not be called? How come is my name mentioned? Meyiwa dies and the state is presenting their case and they finish without me being called. You know, this is a demonstration as well of how the state is really, in my opinion, not interested in finding out the truth. In fact, one would say they are hiding the truth. Because what was the reason, honestly speaking, of subjecting this old man to this and then not even giving him an opportunity to speak for himself? And there you were throwing his name around in that courtroom. It was so disheartening to observe and watch. BALOYI then said, we'll get to that in a while. And he started asking him about the interview on TikTok. He wanted to know if it happened on the same day where he made the statement. And Zungu said, yes, they said to him that they should anything happen the next day, they wanted people to know that they were in Newcastle and hearing out his grievances. BALOYI wanted to know if he had the interview with someone from TikTok or it was someone from print media. Zungu said he talked to the ones who he was with from TikTok, and BALOYI wanted to know if there were people from print media. Zungu said he doesn't know how they work, whether it's TikTok or print, but he was with them. And BALOYI asked him, this was the first formal step of a version that you wanted to put across? And Zungu said yes. BALOYI quoted from the statement where it said that Brigadier GININDA further said that he met with Buthelezi Makubo Sutu and his son Skumbuzo, who is also a police officer, but he did not meet anyone except Brigadier GININDA, who was also calling and wanted to meet him as well. Now, on that whole TikTok and print media thing, I also heard him asking whether it was a Daily Sun thing, whether it was from the Daily Sun. Well, Ubab Zungu doesn't know, and he wouldn't know. But yeah, I wonder where the state was going with this, because I just felt like, all right, and then what? It's already out there. There's no stopping it now. The interview is there, sitting at 300 and something thousand views and growing each time Ubab Zungu is on that stand. So he said that, can you identify the occasion when Brigadier GININDA allegedly said that, and Zungu asked for him to explain the question. Zungu said he did not know Makubo and Buthelezi. He heard GININDA talking about them in court, and he said these people were present at the time he took down his statement. And on that day, he did not see them. He said, I don't know them, and they also do not know me. BALOYI then asked, we put it to you, Baba Zungu, that there is no such evidence by Brigadier GININDA. And Zungu said, I am saying that he was questioned by one of the councils here. They asked him, who did you make him to take an oath with? He said, Makubo Buthelezi. That's what he recalls from Brigadier GININDA's evidence. So BALOYI asked if the TikTok people told Zungu what to say in his statement. Zungu said no, they did not tell him. He wrote what he knew, and he was there for. So BALOYI is trying to create an impression that the people from TikTok coerced Ubab Zungu to make the statement, or they told him what to put in the statement. Ubab Zungu is saying no, none of that have ever happened. He was doing it, because he wanted to. BALOYI said that the statement was made while the proceedings were ongoing. Zungu said yes, even his son, remember, his statement was typed and it was dated the November 2023, or was it October? It was dated a fresh date there in 2023, and when he was asked to look for the original, he was saying that it was not typed those few days before, he came to testify. He claimed that it was actually done prior, a long time ago, and he needed to get the statements, the original statements, after the defense were asking this very pertinent question as to why that statement was so fresh. Well, BALOYI read the part of Ubab ABSALOM Zungu's statement where he stated that at some point they also wanted his bank account so they could transfer money into his bank account if he was willing to testify. Oh my God. Brigadier GININDA said at the court that I was not willing to testify, is what Ubab Zungu is saying, knowing very well that I did not submit any statement. Can you identify the occasion where Brigadier GININDA said at court that you were not willing to testify? This is what BALOYI was asking. And Zungu said he did not want to answer a question he didn't understand. And somehow I felt like the state or BALOYI was asking Ubab Zungu ambiguous questions, in my opinion. They were not having context. They were not clear. They were very confusing questions. But he was allowed to get away with it because, of course, So Mnisi said that he's also trying to follow the question. Even he didn't understand, and asked if the state was implying that that whole sentence is what was said by Zungu or Brigadier GININDA, knowing very well that part where he said, knowing very well that I did not submit a statement. Well, the judge said that he understood the question and asked BALOYI to repeat it. Mnisi said it was misleading. It was a misleading question, and he addressed this in the examination in chief. But according to Brigadier GININDA, that Zungu was unable to testify because he was fearing for his life, and the state corrected him. But the portion where he said that he was not willing to come and testify could not have been said by Brigadier GININDA. Now, the judge, who has said many, many times that he listens, asked him to go to the basics and asked BALOYI what statement he was reading. He said maybe it needed to be read by somebody else. Instead of asking Advocate BALOYI to rephrase his question and put it in a context that the witness will understand, He takes that piece of paper, he reads it, okay? He repeats the same thing that Advocate BALOYI was reading. And he said BALOYI was correct. He read it correctly. BALOYI then said, when did Brigadier GININDA testify in court that you were not willing to testify? And Zungu said, I wouldn't know. He was talking about me a lot in this court. BALOYI then said, we put it to you that there's no such evidence. Zungu said there's no comment. If he doesn't understand BALOYI's question, there's nothing that he will comment on. BALOYI asked him where he was, and Brigadier GININDA offered him money to come and testify. Well, Zungu said he wouldn't know because he was not recording anywhere. But GININDA did say that. He's saying GININDA did offer him money. BALOYI then said the state is on record, and he said they referred to the relevant part on Friday that on the 20th of May 2025, they made it clear that they were not going to call Ubab Zungu as a witness, as his evidence in chief was hearsay. The very same hearsay that Brigadier GININDA duplicated in his statement. Okay. Then BALOYI said, why would Brigadier GININDA want to deposit money into your account in order for you to testify when there was no intention for the state to call you? Zungu said GININDA was mentioning my name in this court. What was I supposed to do? What did he make the statement if he did not want me to come and testify? Well, GININDA met with ABSALOM Zungu at around 2023 at Newcastle, right? It was around 2023, and they did not want to communicate that they would be calling ABSALOM Zungu by then. They only mentioned that they were not going to be calling him just now in 2025, at around, after they, even before they closed their case. It was like days before they closed their case that they made the announcement. Right. So Zungu said that he asked what GININDA wanted his bank account for, and BALOYI said, has the prosecuting team ever consulted with you? And Zungu said, prosecution from where? And he said, the two of us, meaning him and Sibanda. And Zungu said, no, they never called me. So BALOYI said that demonstrates that the state never intended to call you as a witness. Well, Zungu said they never had the intention. For what reason? He's asking important questions. But BALOYI is not going to give him the answer. BALOYI then said, Mr. Zungu, we are moving on. If you are going to ask counter questions, we are never going to do the cross-examination anytime soon. Can you just answer the question when it is put to you? Why would Brigadier GININDA want to deposit money into your account? As the statement, or as the state, we made it clear that they don't want to call you as a witness. Well, Zungu said, I don't know. BALOYI read the part where Ubaba Zungu said that he did not feel safe at all because Brigadier GININDA kept calling him and wanted to meet him in an open felt, and that he should not tell everyone or bring someone. I think he's already explained this about that whole Utrecht situation where they were calling him to go meet him there. It is an open field. It is not, it's an isolated place. So Zungu said he revealed all of this before, and he said that it's exactly the point that he testified that his son wanted him and Brigadier GININDA to meet at Utrecht at the farming area, and his son will further say that don't bring anyone else and don't tell them where we are meeting, you know. Zungu confirmed all of this. So BALOYI said that what was written in the statement and what he testified to was different. Zungu said he stated that in court, if the person who wrote on the statement stated is wrong, Zungu said he was not making a mistake because he even put the phone on a speakerphone and told the people that he was with at the time to listen to what his son was telling him over the phone. Zungu said it's the same. His son called and said he was with GININDA. they asked him to meet them and not come with anyone or tell anyone. So BALOYI said, "Is it not Brigadier GININDA who called you, but your son?" He was really trying to extract Brigadier GININDA from this whole situation, in my opinion. These are the people that when they counter-argue or when they want to win objections, they now remember that the case is about Senzo Meyiwa. But every time it's conflicting because we hear GININDA's reputation being defended more than trying to actually find out what happened on the night Senzo died. It's a very, very weird case. Well, Zungu said all the time that his son would call him, and he said he was with GININDA. So he's saying every time Sizwe Zungu would call him, he would mention that he's with GININDA. So BALOYI said that Zungu had no first-hand information regarding what happened to Senzo. Zungu said he doesn't know, yet his name is being mentioned in court. So the white lady, apparently, turns out that Advocate BALOYI is saying that it was Lieutenant.
We don't trust him. We don't trust him. We would like to keep our opinion open.
I wonder why he volunteered that information, because we were all wondering
we don't trust him.
about this white lady.
We don't trust that man.
Is it Krunye or what? What lady?
That
What lady?
balded man, it's not. I cannot trust anything that comes from his mouth.
And he's saying it's Colonel Roots. And did Colonel Roots ever testify in that court?
No.
So, yeah. Bab Zungu said that he's from Ekshumayeleni in Mahlabatini. And BALOYI asked him, would it be correct for someone who lives in Mahlabatini to say that he's not from Nongoma? Zungu said it
Those
depends.
things are far apart, man.
Akafuna ukwamukela uBALOYI.
They
BALOYI
are
wants to
far
make
apart.
everything Nongoma. He wants to be Nongoma.
They are far apart. I mean, this man is educated, apparently. He could have done a research and stopped trying to make this thing one thing.
I can understand the concept of villages. There's town, and then there's villages, BALOYI. There's town, villages. Town, villages. Town, villages. Right? That's how it is. You cannot say that in town because it's town. Nongoma is a town, right? So now, because Nongoma is a town, it means the villages are also the town. If the villages were town, then there would be no villages. It's not like in Gauteng. In Gauteng, townships fall under a town or a city, right? That's how it works here. But in villages, it's different. A village and a town are not the same. Why doesn't he want to accept that? So that it legitimizes the wrong address of the statement that you say you expunged. What is going on? I thought Advocate BALOYI no longer cares about ABSALOM Zungu's statement anymore. That's why they didn't call him to come and testify. But yet, he wants to legitimize the mishaps and the mistakes that happened in the statement. And also, with Sibiya's evidence. Maybe that's what he's fighting for. He's fighting for Sibiya's evidence to say that Sibiya was denying Mahlabatini, was denying Nongoma.
Even the municipalities are separate.
They are separate, right?
You know,
they're not the same.
Nongoma municipality is not Mahlabatini municipality. The Mahlabatini municipality is what? It's called what?
What is it called?
It's called Mkambatini Local Municipality. I mean, you know what is also funny?
What?
Should one day someone will be arrested for this?
Yes.
We have 2 Njomelwanes in KZN.
Okay.
There is Nongoma Njomelwane, and then there is Melmont Njomelwane.
Haibo.
Far apart. And then we have Mahlabatini and we have Hlabatini, also from Melmond. So where Shaka used to grow, where he was looking after cattle.
Yes.
Babethi ngasemgabhini eMelmond. Nendawo la, there's a place called Hlabatini there.
So they were going to say it's Mahlabatini,
Yes,
Abu
yes.
Baloyi.
And it's far apart, miles apart.
He doesn't want to accept that, and it also speaks to the quality of investigation. I've always said that it doesn't look like they did much
There was ever
investigation.
investigation.
There's
here.
not, because this thing is not difficult. If you've been there, if you were there and you talked to the people there and you were actually doing investigations, you would understand that Nongoma,
Even on
and
Google,
Mahlabatini-
if you go to Google and say Nongoma Mahlabatini, the distance is like 52 kilometers. This cannot be the same municipalities.
No, Babu Zungu mentioned it, that it's like 50 kilometers apart. So areas that are 50 kilometers apart, Pretoria is like 30 kilometers apart away from Joburg.
Yes, can you
Does it
imagine?
mean that
But they have a
Pretoria
different.
is
Yes.
Joburg? Does it mean that Pretoria is Joburg? What is going
Baloyi,
on?
they are just.
What is going on? Yege lento. Yege. It's embarrassing. Please stop. Make him stop. So Baloyi then said, how far is Ngoza Primary School from your house? Well, Zungu said it is nearby. My family's kids go to school there and it would be about a distance of 1 kilometer. Baloyi asked if Sibia had sisters now. Zungu said he did not know those kids and he did not stay with the kids. He did not know their names. He asked if he knew Celia and Tulimbata. And Zungu said it would be better if he mentioned maybe male kids. He didn't know their names. Well, then Baloyi said Njabulo and Lulama. Do you know them? And Bab Zungu said he doesn't know those names. Well, the state seems to have been stalking Sibia's family, in my opinion. It's like now they want to arrest them all. Because what is this? What the heck is this?
They are trying to collaborate the story.
What story?
The story that was told by
Their
Zoom.
case is closed.
The story that was told by Zoom. That's what Baloyi is trying to. Even when it asked about the wedding, he was trying to say that's where Zungu was talking to Muzi. That's basically what he's trying to say.
But
That there was a wedding and whatnot and whatnot.
it is hearsay, Baloyi. Let it go, please. Let it go. You have failed to place Sibia at the crime scene. What is this now supposed to do? It's a futile exercise. Well, Zungu said he had daughters, and Baloyi asked if one of them got married in 2019. Zungu said he could see where he was going, but the daughter was born of his older brothers and he was accompanying her. He could not remember the exact date, and he would have asked how many years she's been married now to get exactly when that wedding happened. Constable Zungu was at that wedding according to Bab Zungu, and Baloyi asked Zungu how far was Newcastle from Ekshumayeleni, and Zungu said it's from maybe a
very
distance
far.
from Pretoria to Standerton.
It's very far.
Very far. He said he wanted to know why he met with him in Newcastle and not Ekshumayeleni, Baloyi. Well, Zungu said that he was attending a ceremony of a colleague there, and his sister is also married that side. So Baloyi then asked him, had you not relocated from Ekshumayeleni to Newcastle for fear of your life? Zungu said that he would normally go there and visit his relatives, but he doesn't stay there. He said, I only go there when I visit my relatives. Zungu said he was in Dundee, which is less than 50 kilometers away from Newcastle.
Dundee is not far from Newcastle. In fact, I think it's Ngutu.
Mm-hmm.
Then from Ngutu, no, I'm lying. I think it's Freiheit, Ngutu, yes. And then from Ngutu, the distance there between, then there is Dundee in between, then Newcastle. If you are heading to Joburg.
Oh, okay. So that's a fair enough distance apart.
And the distance from Hlabatini to Newcastle, we are talking about 3 hours something.
Driving.
Yes.
Yo, that's far. Zungu said that he could not have gone back without finishing what he came there to do. Baloyi said the meeting at Newcastle was cordial and GININDA was not in a fighting mood.
Because he was for the first time, he did his things inside the police station.
Yes. Baloyi asked what he met or what he met with him or why he met with him in Newcastle after how he claims he was treated after they took him from Emelo. Zungu said he was asking him an obvious question. For him to call him to the police station, why would he do that? Because he knew of occurrences with him before in the past.
I'm shy it up.
He could have said, let's meet at a spa, but
because,
he chose a police
station.
Person. He chose a police station. You don't choose a police station for people you are comfortable with. I would rather meet you at a police station. That already sends a message that, you know what, I'm scared of you. Right? Instead, because of the kind of life that he says he was living, and Baloyi said you were prepared to meet with Brigadier GININDA this after you say he mistreated you previously, and Zungu said, I'm explaining this. I wanted to know what he wanted and what he was going to do. I called him in front of law enforcers. It's because of my experience with him that made him call him at a police station. Even he never asked me why we met at the police station. Baloyi asked if he sent Brigadier GININDA, please call Ms. Zungu said he does not remember. What he usually does when he gets a missed call is return it with a call.
The truth has a way of defending itself. In this case, he just closed all the loopholes, if they are there, of whether I send a call back or what.
Yeah.
I always go back to people that have called me.
Zungu said he was done and he answered this question before, which the court calls a person's name and then does not call them to court to testify. Even now, he's still asking that, why was he not called? How does this court operate? Because I believe all role players of this court believe that there's a person whose name is being mentioned, they ought to be called. But I'm still asking, why is it that my name was mentioned in this matter and I haven't been called to court? Why? The entire nation was waiting for me to testify. Here are statements, and they are the reason why I'm saying I was supposed to come and testify and be allocated a number on the witness list. It's procedure that you ought to call me. Issued a letter to call me to come and testify, not use my name. Now this thing is all over the country that ABSALOM Zungu said this and that, but I was never called. Ute, I'm dying for your sins. Aye, Baloyi. Now Baloyi said that he says it's permissible for a police officer to say that he received information from a certain person and that as a result of that information
in a
he
sense
took
it's
certain
permissible
steps.
for the police officer to get you killed.
Sure.
In a nutshell.
Zungu said he did not understand that. GININDA said that after receiving ABSALOM Zungu's statement, a cold case analysis was done, then the Tembisa case was picked up. So now he's switching to say that ABSALOM Zungu is the one who helped make the arrest for the Tembisa case. This is embarrassing, guys. Zungu said that it was all criminality. GININDA and Sizwe knew exactly what they were doing using his name. And then BALOYI said the proposition that was placed to you, Bab Zungu, is that Brigadier GININDA acted on information that you provided. The accused were arrested, so your entire evidence is actually irrelevant. The ship has already sailed.
Imagine.
The horse has already bolted.
Imagine.
Well, Zungu said, I can speak for myself. I beg no one. How come GININDA does not know? Constable Zungu, how come he also does not know what happened to Senzo Meyiwa? GININDA, in his own statement, he said he heard this from me. But why does he take Constable Zungu to testify? He said, I beg that you do not play with me here in this court. Well, Zungu asked, when is a person exactly called to court to testify? Well, BALOYI said it's when a person deposed a statement and he can assist the court to determine the issues that are in dispute. Then the person will be called to come to court and testify. Hi, Baba Zungu wati, was I called? Ngangbiziwe, mina. Then BALOYI gave that awkward smile, laugh, I don't know what to call it. And he said, my lord, it's 15:24. I think it's time for adjournment. We'll continue tomorrow. Was I called? Angibizwa ngani? After you gave this beautiful explanation of why a person is called to court to come and testify, you're saying it's when a person has deposed a statement. Is there no statement of ABSALOM Zungu there? Is it not there? Why did you not want him to come and assist the court to determine the issues that were in dispute? Why? So we'll see tomorrow what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen.
To drag Babu Zungu.
Yeah, he's going to
because
destroy.
He is,
he's going to destroy your case. Keep him there. Keep him there long enough, and it will crumble before our very eyes.
It is crumbling already. It is done crumbling. What is happening now? It's nailing it further. Right, guys. It's 2:00. And I'm heading to the office tomorrow. Fortunately. Sisiyabonga.
I'm sorry, guys. We'll try again tomorrow.
Siyabonga kakhulu, guys.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you very much.
We'll see each other again tomorrow.
Yeah. Let me see if I can see. But thank you, all of you. Please press the like button. On your way in, your way out.
Let me try and do this.